Martin Luther King Jr. was one of the most influential leaders of the 20th century and a powerful voice for justice and equality. He was born in 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States. Growing up in a segregated society, King experienced racial discrimination from an early age. These experiences shaped his belief that injustice should never be accepted as normal. Martin Luther King Jr. was deeply influenced by his Christian faith and by the philosophy of nonviolence taught by Mahatma Gandhi. He believed that hate could never drive out hate and that violence only created more suffering. According to King, true change could be achieved only through peaceful resistance, moral courage, and love for humanity. King became a central leader in the American civil rights movement during the 1950s and 1960s. One of his earliest major roles was during the Montgomery bus boycott, which began after Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat to a white passenger. The boycott lasted over a year and ended with a historic victory against segregation on public buses. This event showed the power of unity and nonviolent protest. Martin Luther King Jr. is best remembered for his powerful speeches, especially the famous I Have a Dream speech, delivered in 1963. Standing before hundreds of thousands of people in Washington, D.C., King spoke of a future where people would be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. His words inspired millions around the world and became a defining moment in modern history. Beyond speeches, King was also a man of action. He led marches, organized peaceful protests, and accepted imprisonment for his beliefs. In Selma, Alabama, he marched to demand voting rights for African Americans, despite violent opposition. These efforts contributed directly to major legal changes, including the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. In 1964, Martin Luther King Jr. received the Nobel Peace Prize for his leadership in nonviolent resistance. He became one of the youngest recipients of the award. Rather than viewing the prize as a personal honor, King accepted it on behalf of all those struggling for freedom and dignity. Despite his success, King faced constant threats, criticism, and danger. He was arrested many times and lived under the threat of violence. Tragically, in 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. His death shocked the world and left a deep sense of loss. However, Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy did not end with his death. His vision of equality, justice, and nonviolence continues to inspire movements for human rights across the globe. Today, he is remembered not only as a civil rights leader, but as a moral leader who believed that words, courage, and peaceful action could change the world.